Here's the thing. Once you have the system, you can do it faster than I can. Can't talk as fast as I can, but you can do it, all right? Let me show you how it works. All you have to have in your mind is a simple little acronym, all right? And I'm going to show you how it works. It's an acronym that all you have to do is remember this acronym for the rest of your life, and it'll work forever. And it's a simple acronym called FPG, all right? Don't worry about writing it down. I'm going to teach you how to remember it. F, okay, P, G, all right? Now, F stands for file, a mental location somewhere to store the information, okay? P stands for picture. And the reason it stands for picture is because your mind works in pictures, all right? And I'll give you the acid test in just a minute. And the G stands for glue. Now, we don't have a tube of it or a pill for you to take in the workshop, but it's a 7-hour memory matrix that you learn to show that your mind can handle the information the way it's supposed to be taught, okay? Not through memorization. You know what happened? When you were in first grade, kindergarten, and second grade, man, you were rocking and rolling. You got to third and fourth grade, you went brain dead. The reason for that is you started to learn how to memorize. And folks, let me tell you something. Memorizing doesn't work, okay? It doesn't transfer from the short-term memory to the long-term memory. It's also tedious, time-consuming, and cumbersome. I'm going to teach you a better way, okay? Let's say, for instance, let's say this is a picture, all right? And let's say I want to put this picture, which could be number 15, by the way, if it's a picture, or picture number 1. But let's say it's a picture like number 15, all right? And let's say that this is a file folder, all right? And let's say I take this picture and I put this into my file folder, all right? And I put this in the back seat of my car before I drive off today, and I get on 610 loop, and all of a sudden I turn the corner a little bit too fast. What happens? It falls off the back seat of the car onto the floorboard, and everything separates, right? But if I were to take this picture right here and put glue on both sides of it, then put it into this file folder and close it up and put it on my back seat of my car, I might turn the corner a little bit too fast. It might fall off on the floorboard, but you know what? It's not going to separate until I want the adhesive to release. So, to remember everything for the rest of your life, all you have to have is this little simple acronym called FPG. F stands for file, P stands for picture, and G stands for glue. Now, let me tell you, there's another little acronym that comes off of glue. I'm going to tell you that in just a minute, okay? But say it with me. F stands for, P stands for, and G stands for. Now, let me tell you why picture, okay? I'll give you the acid test. Do not think of an elephant. What happens? In a millisecond, your mind throws up a picture of a big gray mass, floppy ears, a long trunk, a pachyderm. You see an elephant. Now, you don't spell it E-L-E-P-H-A-N-T. You can do that if I ask you to, but that's not what happens. In a millisecond, it throws up a picture of a big elephant. And all of a sudden, you think, oh, I'm not supposed to be thinking about that, and you try to put it out of your mind. Folks, your mind works in pictures. You remember when you were in first grade or kindergarten, around the top of the room was the alphabet? And under A was apple, and under B was ball or boy, and under C was cat or cow, and D was dog or deer. And pretty soon you learned enough pictures to go with the alphabet to come up with enough words. Then you came up with enough words for a sentence, and a sentence for a paragraph, and on and on. But then you hit third and fourth grade, and you went brain dead. You started memorizing, folks, and memorizing doesn't work, okay? It's just a long, cumbersome system, but it doesn't transfer from the short-term memory to the long-term memory. Now, no one can flunk this program, and let me tell you why. Out on the table outside, when you come out after, you'll see we have a study on the computer that was conducted actually by Susan M. Jaggi. She's a postdoctoral fellow at the University of Michigan Department of Psychology. And it actually came out in PNAS, which is Proceedings of National Academy of Sciences. And it was published in the New York Times back in April the 29th of 2008. And what it says is memory training has been shown to improve the brain power or the intelligence. Now, what they proved through their studies and their control groups was that you are not born with the information that you have, and that's all you have in terms of intelligence, okay, for fluid intelligence. You're born with a system, but you know what? It's only 1/3 of its genetics. The other 2/3 come from the behaviors and from the environment. And now they're realizing that. In fact, if you see on Oprah, you know, Dr. Oz has been on Oprah a lot lately, or PBS, the Healthy Brain. Folks, the brain has plasticity. You can learn from the day you're born to the day you die, as long as you have a system. The problem is you don't have the system, okay? But what they proved was there's 4 things you have to do to make this system work. The first is disregard irrelevant items. I did that. The second is monitor your performance. I did that. The third is do 2 things simultaneously. I did that. As you gave me the information, I filed them. And the fourth is to connect things in space and time. And I did that. I have file folders in my mind. Not 15 of them. I have 300. You can give me 300 items just like you did those 15, and when you finish number 300, I can give them right back to you by item by number. And believe me, I'm not very smart. If I had this college the first time, I'd have been magna cum laude instead of laude cum laude. That's how bad I was in college, okay? Now, it could be any kind of information, abstract, concrete, tangible, intangible. I mean, I don't see a wrench in here, but I knew it's number, what, 5? I don't see a plunger, but it's number 7, you know? And that's kind of abstract, but you know what? Even more than that, I don't see a Canadian flag, but newest number what? 2. So it doesn't matter what kind of information. We teach you in the workshop how to learn the preamble of the Constitution, 52 words in less than 5 minutes, and you'll never drop it again for the rest of your life. And that's a lot of abstract information, believe me, okay? So now I'm going to show you how the system works. FPG. Now, the acronym that comes off of the G, the glue, all right, is what we call VIA, V-I-A. Now, it's not like Webster's Dictionary says by way of. That's not what our VIA stands for. Our VIA stands for vivid visualization, I stands for imagination, and A stands for action. Now, folks, there are 2 kinds of actions. We only want you to use one of them, okay? One is active and one is passive. Passive actions like this: walking, balancing, sauntering. Those are 2 passive. We want you to use the active: running, jumping, crashing, smashing, tearing, exploding, piercing, bending, breaking, imploding. Now, don't go home and say the memory guy advocates violence. I'm not advocating violence, okay? But in the workshop, after the second day of the workshop, we'll tell you to watch 2 cartoons that'll help you with your exercising of the pictures. And I'll tell you what they are. You might have to go to Netflix or Blockbuster because they may be syndicated, but one of them is the Pink Panther, and the other is the Roadrunner. Now, what are the difference between the Pink Panther and the Roadrunner compared to all other cartoons? There's no dialogue, no talking. Well, they do tell me the new Pink Panther has words, but I'm talking about the old Pink Panther, you know, da-da-da-da, that big old pink tails hanging back here, da-da-da-da. He's walking down the street. All of a sudden, these 2 guys have a rope in their hand, they're pulling something. He doesn't even look up. He looks at the 2 guys, he's walking by, and pretty soon there's a tackle and a block up there with the other rope, and there are 2 guys on the 10th floor trying to pull this piano up, and all of a sudden he's walking by, and the rope and the tackle block break. It falls on top of the Pink Panther's head. It smushes him to the ground. He's about as thick as a saucer, and he kind of wobbles. But in the next scene, he's okay. Or that Roadrunner and that Coyote. That Coyote has the Acme Dynamite trying to catch that Roadrunner and stick it in his lapel. He's almost to the Roadrunner, and all of a sudden the Acme Dynamite blows up, burns him to a pile of ashes on the top of a highway, right? But in the next scene, he's got his full body. He's okay. Well, he may have Band-Aids. He may have kind of black smut. But you know what? He's alive. So that's the kind of cartoon violence I'm talking about, all right? So that VIA drives the glue. And the VIA is vivid visualization. I stands for imagination, and A stands for action. All right? Now, we're going to go through and I'm going to show you what I did and give you a tip of the iceberg to show you how quickly your mind can pick things up, okay? Because actually, in the first day of the workshop, what we do is we put everything into your mind, nothing illegal, immoral, harmful, and it's all G-rated, and we don't hypnotize you, but we only have 7 hours worked with you. So we put it in the first day, the second day we activate it. That way no one can flunk this program, all right? But you all have this innate ability lying dormant. It's just a matter of learning how to turn that switch on, okay? So I'm going to show you how to set these files up, the file, the picture, and then we're going to glue it, all right? So, to remember anything, it's FPG. We're going to set some files up. The first file is going to be this screen right here. Just say screen. File number 1. File number 2, we'll make this speaker. Say speaker. That's file number 2. File number 3, we're going to make this divider. Say divider. That's file number 3. File number 4, we're going to make right back here, we're going to make the corner. Say corner. That's file number 4. What's number 1? Number 2? Number 3? File number 4? Good. File number 5, we're going to make this door right here. Just say door. Door. That's file number 5. File number 6, we're going to make this light right back here. Just say light. That's file number 6. File number 7, we're going to make that exit sign. Just say exit. That's file number 7. File number 8, we're going to make that thermostat. Just say thermostat. That's file number 8. File number 9, we're going to make the flag. Just say flag. By the way, which Canadian flag was number 2 a while ago, right? All right, file number 10, we're going to make the podium. Just say podium. Let's go backwards. What's file number 10? File number 9? File number 8? Good. File number 7? Exit. File number 6? Good. File number 5? Good. File number 4? File number 3? File number 2? And file number 1. Okay, now folks, right out in front of every one of you, remember file, picture, glue. Right out in front of every one of you, you all have a sack of produce, all right? Now, your name's Gary. Now, Gary's produce happens to be tomatoes, okay? Butch's produce has to be rutabagas, okay? I don't care what kind of produce it is. The afterword is you have produce, all right? Now, Gary, your produce is tomatoes. Now, the file is the screen, your produce is the picture, and the glue is how you put it there. Now, I don't want you to move. So how do you get that produce, which is tomatoes, onto that screen? You're going to have to throw it, yes. But the file's the screen, the picture is the produce, tomatoes, and he's going to throw it. It's going to just smash, now we have tomato juice, right? Or Gary may have an out-of-body experience and float over here. He may float over to the screen, and he may draw pictures, or he may stack pictures in a pyramid. Tomatoes in the pyramid, all right? But the key thing is we put produce. Every one of you put produce on the screen. File number 1. What's file number 2? Speaker. Yes, sir. Your name is? Doug. All right, Doug. And I want you all to do this because when you do it, you embrace it, all right? Doug, on the speaker right here, I want you to put a clock. Now, Doug, it could be a grandfather clock. It could be a cuckoo clock. It could be a digital alarm clock. It could be a watch. It could be Big Ben. I don't care. What kind of clock? Now, the file is the speaker. The clock is your picture. And the glue is how you put it there. Now, you can move. How would you put it up there? What kind of clock is it?
Just a simple round one.
Simple round clock. Okay, so you're going to have to nail it or hang it or something, right? So how are you going to put that clock on that speaker with a lot of action?
Without going over there?
I'll let you go over there. Do whatever you want to. You can hang a nail it. What are you going to do?
Yeah, just go up there, hang a nail.
Hang a nail. You're going to hang a nail on the speaker and then hang it on the speaker, right? The key thing is, his is a round clock. Now, Art's clock may be a grandfather clock. It may be a cherrywood 14th century. I don't care. The key thing is you put a clock up here, right? What do you put on the screen? Produce, right here, you put a clock. What's file number 3? All right, Karen, I'm going to let you do this one. You did pretty good a while ago. It's Karen, right? All right, Karen, on the divider right here, I want you to put a phone, like that number 6 cell phone a while ago. But I want you to put a phone. It could be a phone booth. It could be a pay phone. It could be a princess phone. It could be a Mickey Mouse phone. It could be one of those antique phones you have to crank. I don't care, Karen. The file is a divider. The phone that you pick is a picture, and the glue is how you put it there. What kind of phone you want to put up there? Cell phone. All right, you like a brand of any type? BlackBerry. Okay, BlackBerry. How you can put the BlackBerry on that divider? You could double-side tape it. You could put it with duct tape. You could nail it. I don't care. How you want to put it up there? Just strap it up there. Okay, the key thing is the file is the divider. Hers is a BlackBerry, so you could be a phone. And the glue is how you put it there. She's going to strap it up here, okay? Key thing, we put a phone on the divider. What'd you put on the screen? Good. Not just tomato, just produce, all right? What'd you put on the speaker? Clock. And on the divider? Okay, and in the corner right here, file number 4, right? Richard? Richard, on the corner right here, I want you to put a goal post, like a football goal post, you know? Like, it could be the old H-type that had 2 pipes that come up with a pipe in the middle, or it could be the new Y-type that comes up and it goes into a Y. What kind of goal post? Now, the file is the corner, the picture is the goal post, the football goal post, and the glue is how you put it there. So what kind you put up there?
Football goal post.
The Y-type or the H-type?
The Y-type.
Y-type, okay. How you can put the Y-type goal post into that corner with a lot of action?
Stand it up.
Stand it up and then seam at the bottom of it, right, and put it in with a crane, whatever. Or he may decide to throw it like a javelin. See, the larger the life, the more active it is, the better it's going to bond. The key thing is you put a goal post in the corner, file number 4. What's one on file number 1, the screen? Produce. What'd you put on the speaker? Good. On the divider? Good. And in the corner? Good. File number 4. What's file number 5? Okay, let's see. Let's see. Dennis, we'll let you do this one. Dennis, right here on the door, I want you to put the file as a door. But you remember back in the old Western days, Dennis? What part of the country are you from? Northwest. Well, down here we had cowboys and Indians, okay? So you remember back in those days they had reward signs that said wanted dead or alive? Dennis is a special one that has your face in it. But now if they catch you alive, not dead, okay? But if they catch you alive, how much are you going to be worth? $1 million. Don't lack of self-esteem here, folks. $1 million, right? One lady here one time said, Harold, just put $1 up there. I don't want anybody looking for me, all right? Here's the thing. I want you all to do this because when you do it yourself, you embrace it, all right? So Dennis is going to put his reward sign on the door. He's gonna, it's going to be his face in it. He's going to put it on for $1 million. But he's going to do it a special way. He's going to take this stick incense, like the hippies used to burn those canoe trays. Am I too old for y'all? You know what I'm talking about? Okay, he's going to take the stick incense. He's going to burn the edges of his reward sign and make it look kind of antique. All right? Now, that's the way he's going to do it. Is it Teely? What's her name? Teely? Teely's going to take it a little different. She's going to put her reward sign with her face for whatever amount of money, but she's going to take her stick incense like out of a quiver, like Robin Hood, and she's going to shoot it up there. Boing! The key thing, and that's what I want you to remember on the door, a reward sign with your face put on with incense for whatever amount of money you want to. Reward sign, your face put on with incense. File number 5. What did you put on the screen? Good. What did you put on the divider? Good. What did you put in the speaker? Good. And in the corner? Okay, and on the door, reward sign, your face put on with incense. There you go, you got it. What's file number 6? Light. Okay, yes, sir, your name is Roger? Roger, on the light right there, Roger, I want you to put a mobile home. It could be a double wide, it could be a single wide, it could be a triple wide like Huckabee lived in Arkansas when they redid the mansion. Or it could be a Winnebago or an Airstream. I don't care. Roger, the file is the light, the picture is the mobile home, and the glue is how you put it there. What kind of mobile home you put on there? What kind? What kind? A driver kind? The Winnebago or Airstream? What kind? Holiday Ram, okay? So how you put your Holiday Ram on that light with a lot of action? Just going to wire it to it, all right? He's going to wire it to it. Now, you might do a little different. You might drive a Winnebago up to it. Or you might take a double wide and fly it in with a tornado. I don't care. The larger the light, the better it bonds. The operative word is you put on this light, you put a mobile home. File number 6. What's file number 7? Exit sign. Is it Keith? Yes. All right, Keith. On the X sign, which is a file, I want you to put money. Now, Keith, it could be as much money as you want to in whatever denomination. So the file is the exit sign, the picture is the money, and the glue is how you put it there. How much money, what kind?
$100 bill.
$100 bill, how many of them? Two $100 bills, okay? On that exit sign, how you can put them up there? The file is the exit sign, the two $100 bills is the picture, and the glue is how you put it there. Tape it, double-sided tape or something like that, or just scotch tape? All right, scotch tape. You can put money. The operative word is you put money, all right? Now, you know what? You might decide to put $1 billion in pennies. You see, the larger the life, the better it is. But the operative word is you put money on the exit sign. File number what? 7? What's file number 8? Okay. On the thermostat, right over there, let's see, who could we do? Yes, sir, right here. Your name is? Fred. Okay, Fred, on the thermostat right there, file number 8, I want you to put, I'm not trying to gross you out, a human brain. Now, remember Steve Martin, the man with 2 brains walking around, the formaldehyde? Okay, now, Fred, you're going to put a brain. Now, the thermostat's the file, the brain is the picture, and the glue is how you put it there. So how you want to put it on there? With a nail, yes. Woo! He's going to nail it on there, and that formaldehyde starts to drip. Fred, we didn't talk after class. No, that's good, that's good. All right, the key thing is you put a brain there. Some people might want to shoot it out of a cannon or shoot it with a slingshot. The operative word, you put a brain on the thermostat. And when you put it on there, it kind of electrifies, shh, all right? The key thing, you put a brain on the thermostat. File number 8. What's file number 9? Is it Joe? Okay, Joe. Joe, on the flag right here, I want you to put a 1-bedroom efficiency apartment. Okay, now the file is the flag, the 1-bedroom efficiency apartment is the picture, and the glue is how you put it there. So how you put it there? Huh? Coat 45. You can shoot it. It could be like a model, right? You can shoot it right over there. Or is he talking about the Coat 45 you drink? I don't know. I don't drink. Okay, all right, Coat 45. Now the file is the flag. He's going to put a 1-bedroom efficiency apartment. Now his happens to be a 9,000 square foot 1-bedroom efficiency apartment, kind of a nice 1-bedroom efficiency apartment. And every time he goes into it, he drinks his Coat 45. No, okay. All right, the key thing is you put a 1-bedroom efficiency apartment on the flag, file number 9. What's file number 10? The podium. Okay, let's see. Yes, sir, your name is?
Brandon.
Brandon? Okay, Brandon. On the podium right here, I want you to put your favorite team. Of course, that's the Dallas Cowboys, right? Now, who's your favorite team? Dallas Cowboys. You know, I was doing this in St. Paul, Minneapolis about 4 months ago, and the guy says, son, don't you know you're in Viking country? I said, okay, whatever. And little did I know they're going to beat us in the playoffs, okay? All right, so Brandon, right here, you can put your favorite team. All of you put your own favorite team. The file is the podium, your favorite team is a picture, and the glue is how you put it there. So how you going to put the Cowboys, Brandon, on this podium with a lot of action? With attack, yes. And then kind of build a pyramid, right? The favorite team is the important thing. His is the Cowboys, yours may be the Cardinals, I don't care. But afterwards, you put your favorite team on the podium. Okay, now who can give me all 10 files and what we put on them? Okay, Carrie, thank you. Carrie, on file number 1 right here, what'd you put?
Podium.
Good. Okay, on file number 2, the speaker, you put? Clock. Okay, in the divider?
Cell phone.
Cell phone. Okay, in the corner?
GoPro.
Good. And on the door?
Morning.
Reward sign with your face put on with? Put on with? Incense. Good, all right. And on the light?
Mobile home.
Good, all right. And okay, on the exit sign?
Exit sign.
Just look at it. What'd you put? 2 of them.
2 $100 bills.
Good, money. All right. What'd you put on the thermostat?
Brain.
Good, a brain. Okay, what'd you put on the flag?
Coat 45. Efficiency apartment.
1-bedroom efficiency apartment. Yeah, 9,000 square foot. Coat 45. Right. What'd you put on the podium? Your favorite what?
Saints, baby.
The Saints. All right. Hey, I got to tell you, I was down there on Padre Street and for the Super Bowl parade, and Drew Brees and Burnell was there, and they're trying to see who could throw the beads the furthest. I caught one from each of them. All right. And I got on the Padre Street because I thought I'd get off early at the very beginning by the Superdome. I got out at 10:30. All right. Just a little side note. I won't charge you for that. Okay. Now, what I just did was I taught you 10 files. I did the same thing that you did, okay? But let me ask you something. Let's say that, who is the president of your association here? Who is the president? Let's say it's Charlie Wallace, okay? Let's say Charlie Wallace says, Kerry, I want you to lead a brainstorming at our next convention. You say, okay, Charlie, how much time do you want me to take? Say, I want you to take about 20 minutes. So what happens is Kerry would go home, for all of us had speech 101. He'd formulate his speech, the introduction, the body of the speech, and the summary. Then he'd get in front of a mirror like I've heard people doing, memorizing their speech, or I've heard people taking sacks, paper sacks, and drawing names and faces and talking to the sacks. But you know what? Kerry has a different system like you all have, all right? So let's say Charlie Wallace says, we're going to have a brainstorming session for all of our members, all of our contractors, all of our suppliers. Everybody's going to be in this big old convention center, thousands of people. Now, it's 2 months later, and he says, Charlie gets up in front of the podium. He says, I've asked Kerry to lead a brainstorming session. You all have some excellent ideas. Let's get them out on the table. Now, he expects Kerry to come out with a PowerPoint system, a tray of slides, or at least some note cards or something, get behind the podium. Kerry doesn't come up with anything. He says, let me have that microphone. He pulled, by the way, which was number 3 a while ago, right? He takes that microphone away from Charlie. He says, okay. And all of a sudden, Charlie says, oh, maybe I didn't choose the right person. He didn't have any slide trays. He didn't have a PowerPoint system. He didn't have any note cards. He just came up here empty-handed. But I got to give him a chance. He's going to try to do it. So he sits down. And Kerry says, Charlie asked me to lead a brainstorming session. You all have some excellent ideas. Let's get them out on the table. The first thing I want to talk about today here is how can we produce more in our association? How can we improve our productivity? How can we improve our production? He looks right over in that speaker. He pulls that sack of produce off. He talks about productivity, production, how to produce more. He says, the next thing I want to talk about today is every one of you in this organization has the same amount of time to get your job done that I do. But I notice some of you get more done in a day's time than others. Or using a Franklin planner, a day timer, a things to do list. Let's talk about your time management. He looks right over in that speaker and he pulls that clock off. He talks a few minutes about time management. He says, every one of you have to deal with your contractors, people within the associations here, deal with your friends. You have to use that telephone all the time. Let's talk about your telephone etiquette. Let's talk about your customer service. Let's talk about your communication factors. He looks right over that divider and he pulls that phone right off. He talks about communication. He says, every year Charlie Wallace and his group sets goals for our association. But I think we all need to individually set our own goals. Let's talk about goal planning. Is it achievable? Is it believable? Can we set deadlines? Is it measurable? He looks right over that corner, he pulls that goal post off. He talks about goal planning. He says, I told Charlie the other day, one thing I'd like to see more of in this association is more reward and incentive programs. Woo! All of a sudden, Charlie jumps up, no. And for 20 minutes, he apologizes why he won't let Kerry talk about reward and incentive programs. No, it has to be voted by the board or committee, and flow down through the departments, associations, by the states. And for 20 minutes, he won't let Kerry talk about reward and incentive programs for the association. But at the end of that 20 minutes, he would turn to Kerry, and for all of us that didn't have Speech 101, when he turned to Kerry and said, okay, Kerry, go ahead, Kerry would get what we call in the public speaking arena, that doe-eyed look. You ever see a head like hit a doe deer? Charlie said, go ahead, Kerry. Go ahead, Kerry. But you know what? Kerry said, oh, Charlie, I understand why we can't talk about reward and improvement, reward and incentive programs. I know we have to vote on by the committees, through the boards, through all the states. But you know what? The reason I joined this association many years ago, and the reason I'm still here, is because we formed this association, we brought the right kind of people in, and we had a place for them to go. Let's talk about our career pathing. Let's talk about our upward mobility. He pulls that mobile home right off the light. He talks about upward mobility, career pathing, how to hire the right kind of people and put them in the right place and have a place for them to go. He says, I know we can't talk about reward and incentive programs today, Charlie, but how can we make more money in our association? Let's talk about some money-making propositions. And he looks right over that exit sign. What's he pull off? Those 2 $100 bills. He talks about money-making propositions. He says, I guarantee you in the year 2010, we're going to have to work smarter, not harder. We have to do the work of 10 people. Let's talk about how to use our brain power more. Let's talk about how to career develop our people. Let's talk about developing our people and using their brain more efficiently. He looks right over in that thermostat and he pulls that brain off. Let's talk about brain power. Let's talk about how to work smarter, not harder. He says, if we do just half of what we talked about today, our efficiency level is going to be just like a hockey stick. It's going to go straight out and straight up. But you know why I know we all can do this in association today? It's because you're all good team members. Give him a hand, he did a great job. Woo! Man, Charlie jumps up. That young man did such a good job, he didn't even use a note. Bull. He had mega notes hanging all the way around the room, but he was the only one who could see them. You know what the number one fear in America is today, folks? Public speaking. The number one fear in America is public speaking. You know what the number 6 fear is? Death. If I got to talk, just shoot me. That's the way people feel. They don't want to get up here. You know why? They're afraid that projector's not going to work, or the PowerPoint system's going to go out, or their note card's going to blow away. You know what? But folks, if you have information at your fingertips, you have power. And information is power and self-confidence. Because as long as we stay in that molecule of confidence about 21 inches around our body, we're okay. But when we have to step out, our body shuts down because that cortisol is produced. But you know what? If you have to get out of that molecule of confidence and you have it at your mental fingertips, it's there. Now, just as easy as we put on that screen right there, couldn't we put what? A picture of water right there on that screen. And on that speaker right there, couldn't we put what? A Canadian flag? Yeah. And right there on the divider, couldn't be what? A microphone? And right over that corner, couldn't we put a truck? Yeah. And over there on that door right there, couldn't we put what? A wrench? Yeah. And over on that light right there, couldn't we put what? A cell phone? Oh, and over there on the number 7, couldn't we put on the other side, couldn't we put a what? A plunger? Yeah. And over there on that thermostat, couldn't we put what? A water bottle? Yeah. And on that flag right there, couldn't we put what? A screwdriver? Yeah. And number 10, the podium right there, what we could put? Yes, folks, you got the information right there. That's all I did when you gave me the information. I just loaded it into my files. Now, I didn't use those files, but you know what? I could, because I could get here early and just set the files up. I used 15 files back in Dallas, Texas. But if you had 300 things, I could still do it with those 300 things the same way, because I have these files set up in my mind. And the mind has no space or time in terms of limitation. And the other thing is, everything you've ever seen, heard, or read in your lifetime is still up here in a non-erasable tape. The problem is, when you built it, when you saw it, when you read it or whatever, it came in a parallel mode. So for you to be able to get back out, you have to align it back here to get it back out. What we do is teach you the cognitive ability of your mind to align the conscious and the subconscious mechanism of the mind and how to learn. So when it comes in one way, it only comes out one way. And you know what? When you give it the right way, your mind will say, thank you. Thank you for giving it the right way. I'm going to give it back to you the right way. And you know what, folks? The information at your mental fingertips.